said it many times, Chessington is the best place for the dark. Whilst the camera doesn't pick it up, it just looks stunning when you come in, some of the light in here.
We begin. A warning of safety, stay close and do not wander off. Even if you think you see or hear something, please stay with us. The park is on ancient grounds. There's a lot of history to cover here and a lot of spirits that can be gathered. We have a device that measures electromagnetic fields. This is our way to see the unseen. So when something is nearby, it will beep red. We will wait for it, but we won't chase it, as we don't want to anger any spirits. We also have some dowsing rods. We'll be using those as a way for the spirits to contact us. They will cross for yes and open for no. And our most important rule is that we always thank the spirits before leaving. So, our first stop will be stopping here in Penguin Bay. I'm sure you all know the mansion. So, years and years before this was even a park, this used to be a farmland, and before that, even then, it was a forest. Servants used to carry water up and down these paths to the mansion, and some say they still hear the ringing of the kitchen bells calling those servants out.
It's a tomb blaster. It's weird to think that the park's closed, there's no one here. So you've actually got house lights on.
The original ride here was Fifth Dimension.
Oh yeah.
Come on in. Scooch on a bit more. Squeeze on the way. You come on in this way.
Give it close.
Come on in. Okay, come a bit closer in.
Ooh. So, unfortunately, during the building of Fifth Dimension, one of the engineers had an unfortunate accident. He slipped and he fell off one of the ramps and died inside the ride. His name was Herman the German. He was a German engineer. We've actually got here a picture for you of where his plaque is underneath the ride. If you'd like to have a look at that. So his plaque there, and he fell. This is the exact place where he fell off the ramp and died here. Hold that for me. Okay, so now we're going to try and make some contact with Herman. Herman, are you here with us?
Wishes have come true. The ancient peace has been disturbed.
Would you like us to leave? Does not want us to leave.
We've done a few behind the scenes tours here, but I have to say it's still creepy walking around with no one here.
But during World War II, there was a lot of bombs that were dropped over Chessington. Back when it was just a private collection of animals. There was a polar bear that lived here, and a bomb was dropped over the top of the polar bear enclosure. The polar bear was slammed to the side and presumed dead for 3 days, as the keepers couldn't go into the enclosure in case of the bombings, and they were also sheltering themselves. He miraculously got up 3 days later and started walking around and lived another 10 years. Unfortunately, one of the keepers was not so lucky. The keeper died during the bombings in one of the enclosures.
Now Chessington doesn't have many open sort of dark nights anymore, so again, to see this sort of with no one around, it's actually quite fascinating.
Very quiet, wild woods. Again, we didn't actually come down here earlier, but look at the light. I love the light in here. Especially when there's no one here to get in the way of it.
I wonder how much they spend on nightlight when no one's around. That'd be an interesting breakdown.
So in the daytime it is darker, but it is red and running down it.
Dun, dun. Whoa. This is weird walking through the vampire queue. Bear in mind it's been closed. Now what do you do? I do remember these sound effects here, actually. These ones I do remember. I don't remember the colour changing lights. It's weird, isn't it, Kurt? Walking it when it's closed. I want to get on at the end. And yeah, you can't get on at the end. Some lovely light as well.
So, there have been reports from some of the ride staff around this area that they've seen a tall, lean, cloaked figure wandering about the queue lines. Never got on the ride or never come close to the ride area, but it's always seen lurking around this area. Some other spooky activity that has gone on, and we don't know if they're related, if the spirits are the same spirit they're talking about. But this one seems to only just stay in this area.
This is really odd with no music or anything. Not even the lights are on, look. Jeez.
I hear beeping quite a lot. Are you the figure that's been seen in the queue lines? Cross for yes and open for no.
Oh, I'm not sure I've ever seen this with the house lights on either.
footsteps, whispers, and sometimes even movement in areas that can't be accessed. The operator's box has especially had strange instances. The door doesn't have a lock, yet it's been known to lock itself while people are inside. There have also been reports of gloves and other objects falling through the ceilings of the console, even when no one's above. And we can say that our peer here has experienced this before. One of the eeriest situations, though, happens during the morning checks. Female attendants have often said they've heard screaming sounds echoing around the ride area when walking alone, but male operators never hear this. Some operators have felt a hand press against their back, only to turn around and find out that no one was there. And a few hosts have even mentioned seeing a figure standing right behind the operator, only to realise a moment later that there was no one in the operator box with them at all. So there is some speculation of whether this ghost is related to the ghost that's outside of the queue lines. We don't know if they're the same one or if they're completely different spirits. One winter, when the park was closed, a winter worker found a noose rope hanging in the Gruffalo area, in an area that only engineers could have access to. No one ever claimed responsibility for putting it there, and to this day, it remains one of the park's unsolved mysteries. What makes it even stranger is that no one actually knows who this spirit might be. There's no record of any accidents or death linked to the ride, yet reports have been coming in for decades, passed down from one generation of ride staff to the next, each not believing the other until it actually happens to them. Guys, so we'll pause here. So this mansion, since it's been around a long time, is known as the Burnt Stub Mansion. So back during in the Civil War, it was a Cavalier stronghold, so there was lots of soldiers here, they were all here in the stronghold, and then Cromwell's forces came and they burnt the entire mansion all the way down to the ground, hence the name Burnt Stub.
Another late finish here at Chessington World of Adventures. That was the ghost tour. That was very, very interesting actually. Just over an hour and a quarter long. As you kind of seen as we've gone through, we've gone to different areas and we've heard some of the ghost stories from Chessington's past. Now it has a lot of rich history, particularly around the Burnt Stub Mansion without a doubt, and of course the death in the fifth dimension when that was being built back in the day. So there's a lot to cover on it. Obviously ghost hunts are subjective, I appreciate that. It's subjective whether or not you're talking to spirits or not. I think that was probably not needed, and honestly so many stories for this that they can bring up and so many things they can go through. I think a story tour actually would work all year round, not just for Halloween, but it was really interestingly put together. And then you had the knowledge as well, and the kind of some of the things that you've seen. It's just fantastic. You know, you can never underestimate how much you can learn, and there's things I've learned today, and people should know I am like Mr. Chessington when it comes to, you know, wanting to know everything about this park. There's things I've learned today as well, and it's great to see kind of someone that operated even like rodeo, for Christ's sake, back in the day to what they are now. So yeah, real good fun and a great look around the park. I love walking around the park when there's no one here. It's just so creepy. It's creepy by itself. But yeah, Ghost Hunt, it was only on for Halloween, to be fair. This won't be up before Halloween. But if they do something else in the future, the knowledge and the things you see, the fifth dimension cupboard, for instance, it's definitely worth it. 48 quid that was, bargain.